Hey, how's it going? Stephen here from understandingaudio.com. Now, I'm going to show you a mistake that a lot of people, including me, have made or continue to make while they're mixing. I've got a simple drum loop here on my session that I'm going to use to demonstrate. It's unprocessed at the moment, and the only thing I've done is adjust the clip gain so that the average level is hitting the digital audio sweet spot of around -18 dBFS. So let's have a listen to that loop. As you can hear, it's a pretty simple pop drum loop, and you can see that the average level is metering at about -18 dBFS. Perfect for mixing. Now, I have an EQ and a compressor on the inserts of this track, so let's have a listen to that same loop with the plugins on. I'd only really use this type of processing if I was going after a particular type of sound, but it's great for demonstration purposes. You'll notice that even though the sound is quite a lot different, the level of the audio is still averaging at the sweet spot of around -18 dBFS. Let's look at what the plugins are doing. This EQ is adding a lot to the sound. 10.6 dB at 87, -2.1 at 336, and a boost of 12.1 dB at around 2.1k. The reason for these pretty extreme boosts is that they're purely for effect and to demonstrate what I want to show you. But you might want to do this to smash a drum loop or some other instrument in a mix for effect. Some instruments might just need that bigger boost in your mix. It all depends on the material. That EQ then feeds a compressor. Let's have a listen to the audio again, and you can get a visual of what these plugins are doing. So the gain reduction meter of that compressor was showing us that it's taking off about 3 to 6 dB the piece of that drum loop. But the really interesting thing to look at is over here on the EQ. It hasn't been level matched and it's clearly clipping. The red light on the REQ here is indicating that the output signal is clipped. The EQ boosts have made the signal too hot and it's internally clipped. You can actually see on the REQ trim button that there's a negative value there. That means that the signal is over by 7 dBFS. But over here, there's no clipping on the Pro Tools meter. That's because of the gain reduction of the compressor. It's reduced the output signal of the level going from the EQ into the compressor and then out again. So you might think, great, no problem. But the EQ is still sending a clipped signal to the compressor. The Pro Tools track meter might not show that the signal is clipping, but you can actually hear that it is. Look what happens when we bypass the compressor. The Pro Tools meter shows this yellow clip indicator, which means that the signal has gone above 0 dBFS in the internal mixer, meaning it's clipped. One thing I want to clear up here is that some people think that the clip indicator needs to be red to mean that the signal is clipping. But that red indicator is only displayed when there's clipping at your audio interface's input or output converters, or when writing to a 16-bit or a 24-bit audio file. So a yellow indicator means it's clipped as well, just internally. You can also see that when this compressor is bypassed, that the output signal is in the red, so it's clipped. The best thing to do in this situation is to adjust the output level of your EQ before you send the signal to your compressor, and then adjust the compressor settings as needed. Now I have no issues with clipping, the processing is clean, and I've achieved the results I want. The take-home lesson from all of this is to make sure to always check the output of your plugins before you insert another plugin in the chain. Just because the Pro Tools meter shows no clipping doesn't mean the signal isn't audibly clipped. Before I go, I have one other quick lesson to share with you, and it's actually even bigger and better than this. I call it the one hack that guarantees a unique pro sounding mix. But rather than take up any more of your time in a video, you can download my free guide to learn more about this game-changing hack at getpromixes.com. The guide is easy to read and there are loads of action steps you can take to get your mixes sounding like the pros today. So grab it for free at getpromixes.com. Thanks for watching this video. Do all the usual fun stuff like liking, subscribing and leaving comments below, and I'll be back very soon.